Good day mga kamatiks! Kumusta kayong lahat dyan? Dito na naman ako si Sir Navero at welcome sa ating panibagong video. Sa last video natin, we discussed about the case 1 on simplifying radicals, which is factoring the radicand. Now, in this video, we're going to discuss about case 3 in simplifying radicals, which is rationalizing the denominator. But before that, I'm going to present to you first the answers to the items that were given in the last video. The practice exercise in case 2. Okay? Now, the denominator I'm talking about with the following expressions are just monomial, alright? So, for the binomial, we're going to make another video on that later. Now, when simplifying radicals, when do we consider if a given radical is already in simplified form? So it's in the simplest form or simpler form when what? Its denominator contains no radicals. Okay, so take note of that. If your denominator contains a radical symbol, then it's not yet in simpler form. Okay? So suppose the denominator of a fraction or a fractional radical expression contains a square root. Then multiply both the numerator and the denominator of that fraction by square root and simplify. This may produce a radical in the numerator, but our main focus is to eliminate the radical from the denominator. Okay, this process is called the rationalizing the denominator. Okay. Now, the main objective of rationalizing the denominator is for you or for us to get rid of the radical symbol or the radical in the denominator. Okay, so let's have our first example, 3 over square root of 5. Now, for us to get rid of that radical symbol, we have to consider what should be multiplied with 5 to make it a power or to make it a perfect power of 2. Okay, so that's 5 to the power of 1, right? So what should be multiplied with 5 to the power of 1 to make it a power of 2? So it's the same, 5 to the power of 1. So 5 times 5, it's gonna be 5 squared. So you have to multiply a square root of 5. Not just 5, okay? So you have to consider also, because if you only multiply 5, it's gonna be 5 times square root of 5. So that's different, no? So it should be, both of them are in radical. So you multiply square root of 5 over square root of 5 with the numerator and the denominator, okay? So is this legal? Is this okay? You're multiplying something. Now take note, this is just equal to 1, so that's okay. That's not a problem because they have the same number or value in the numerator and the denominator. That says it's only 1, right? So that's okay. Now, when we multiply them, we just have, if here it doesn't contain a radical, so you just have to copy them and put them together, and then the denominator becomes like this. 3 squared of 5 over square root of 5 squared. Now take note that we have to apply a rule or law of radicals. What law is it? So it's gonna be law number 1. Alright, that's correct. Now, what does the law number 1 says? So it says that if ang kanyang root at power are the same, then we can say that it's equal to the base only. So it's gonna be cancelled na lang siya. Okay, so the answer is 3 square root of 5 all over 5. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. We have both the numerator and denominator contains a radical symbol, and then it's negative. So our main focus again is to get rid of the radical in the denominator. So what should we multiply with 3? Square root of 3 to get rid of the radical symbol. Of course, it's gonna be square root of 3. Okay? Next is we multiply them, they have the same root, so square root of 5 and square root of 3, so it's gonna be square root of 5 times 3 or square root of 15, then this one becomes 3 squared. Then just copy the negative symbol, then we have to cancel them, then negative square root of 15 all over 3, right? Okay, square root of 7 all over 2 square root of 20. Now, there are times that you can still simplify the radicand, right, before you rationalize. But actually, you can rationalize directly. But my advice is to simplify it first for your convenience also. Because if you're going to rationalize it now, the numbers or the letters might get bigger and bigger, alright? So why not simplify it first before rationalizing? So for example here, 20 has a factor which is a perfect n power of 2 or a square of 2. So it's gonna be 4 and 5. So 4 times 5 it's 20, right? But take note that 4 is a perfect power of 2. So you can take the square root of that. Okay? So take note that 5 cannot be taken outside of the radical symbol. So it's the song of Kim Chiu, bawal siyang lumabas. And then the 4 is now allowed to go outside because it's in perfect power of 2. Okay? So square root of 4 it's 2, and then just multiply with the 2 outside, and then copy the square root of 5 since 5 you cannot let 5 go outside. So 2 times 2 is it's gonna be square root of 7 over 4 square root of 5. Then what should we multiply? Multiply to get rid of the radical symbol. It's gonna be square root of 5 over square root of 5. Then you multiply lang sa kanyang mga radicand. So it's 7 times 5. It's gonna be square root of 35, right? And then how about the denominator? So it's gonna be 4 square root of 5 squared. And then you have to cancel them. Therefore, you have to multiply 4 times 5. Square root of 35 over 4 times 5. It's gonna be square root of 35 over 20. Right? Next, last example to sa square root. Okay? So 8x all over 10x cubed. There are times that again we can simplify the radicand, so we have to simplify it first. So 8 and 10 they have something in common, right? And then x and x cubed they have something also in common, so you have to subtract the exponent. 3 minus 1 is gonna be x squared, and then 4 over 5. Now take note that 5 again bawal lumabas, okay, since it's not a perfect power of 2, and then x squared pwede nang lumabas kasi perfect power of 2, and si 4 din perfect power of 2. So what's the square root of 4? It's gonna be 2, right? How about the square root of x squared? It's x. Then just copy square root of 5, right? No? So 2 over x squared of 5. Then what should we multiply again? So C5 again, famous kay C squared of 5, no? So that's okay anyway. So we multiply square root of 5 over square root of 5. And then we just multiply them and put them together since the other one doesn't contain a radical. So it's gonna be 2 square root of 5 over x square root of 5 squared. So we have to cancel. Then we multiply na lang 5x times 5. It's gonna be 5x, so which gives us the final answer of 2 square root of 5 all over 5x. Next is cube this time. So take note that the cube in index or the root is 3. Iba yung rule niya or iba yung process niya, no? So actually, if you put this into context, similar lang sila. Pero you have to take into consideration. You cannot say you have to multiply cube root of 2. No, that's wrong, because you cannot complete the cube root of 2, or you cannot get rid of the radical symbol. So what should be considered for us to get rid of the radical symbol? Now, what should be multiplied with 2 to the power of 1 to make it a 2 to the power of 3? Okay? So it's gonna be 2 to the power of 2, alright? So that's these are the things that you have to consider when you are going to rationalize, no? So it's not just a square root, it's not just like that. So there are times that it's gonna be cubed, it's gonna be 4 or 5. No? So you have to complete the denominator so that you can get rid of the radical symbol. So now we can multiply 2 square, right? 2 square. And then cube root of 13 over 2 times 2 square, 2 over 2 square. So it's gonna be 13 times 4, and then complete na siya, 2 cube na siya. So, and then sa numerator, bawal siyang lumabas, and then the denominator, allowed na siyang lumabas. So, we have to separate the radical symbols with cube root of 52 over cube root of 2 cube. So, ito, pwede na makancel, no? Then, the numerator, copy ka lang dyan. So, which gives us the final answer of cube root of 52 over 2. Okay, so again, you have to consider the exponent and the root here. Let's have our next example. A negative cube root of 4xy squared all over 9x5y cubed. Now again, you can still simplify them. So you have to simplify x over x5. That's gonna be x4 na lang to dito, no? And then y squared over y cubed. So this one is y na lang, no? Since subtract naman siya. Then we have to consider that what should be multiplied here. So 9, si 9, pwede natin siyang isulat ng 3 square, di ba? Tapos si x4, you can also simplify it, but it will take time. So why not multiply something to make the exponent divisible by 3? So we multiplied x squared, so that when we multiply x4 and x squared, we get x6, alright? So x squared. How about y? You see y, 1 lang yung exponent niya, and then we have to multiply something to complete it. So we come up with y squared. And then we multiply it with the numerator as well. Then that is why 27 na siya at x6 na siya and y cubed. No? So again, the numerator, di siya allowed. No? So we just multiplied again the 4 and 3 so that we come up with 12. And then yung 27, dahil cube root siya, no? 27, pwede na siyang lumabas. And then x6 and then y cubed. So mag-divide ka lang. 3 divided by 3, it's 1. 6 divided by 3, it's 2. And 3 divided by 3, it's 1. No? So 3 divided by 3, 6 divided by 3, 3 divided by 3. Which gives us the final answer of negative cube root of 12x squared y squared all over 3x squared y. Next, for 3/4 root of 2x all over 5y. No? So again, 4th root na to, so iba na naman. You have to consider again the index, no? So 5, what should be multiplied with 5 to the power of 1 to make it a power of 4? So it's 5 to the power of 3. So therefore you have to multiply 4th root of 5 cubed. How about y? So it's gonna be y cubed, right? To make it a power of 4. So 5 cubed, y cubed, no? So itong dalawa. To make it a power of 4. And then you just have to multiply them. 2x, 5 cubed, y cubed. And then the denominator now, allowed na siyang ilabas. Pero yung numerator, hindi pwede. So, we just have to copy them. Then separate lang yung radical symbol. So this time, pwede nang i-cancel. No? 4 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4, it's gonna be 5y na lang. Take note, 5 cubed is 125, no? So 5 cubed is 125. Okay? And then you multiply it with 2 so that it becomes 250. And then just copy x and y cubed. So, pag cancel nito, so our answer will be 5y na. Pero yung full answer natin is 3/4 to the 250x y cubed all over 5y. Okay? Now you can have the following items as practice exercises. The answers to these items will be given on the next will be presented